Hello, my beautiful people. My name is Kristen. Thank you for stopping by my BookTube channel. Today, I am wanting to do something to celebrate reaching 500 subscribers. I know subscriber count goes up and down, and it might dip back down below that, but I reached it at least once nonetheless, and I want to celebrate that and kind of thank a lot of people that have been with me on this journey, as well as start an original book tag in honor of this. And this book tag is inspired by actually a couple different booktubers that I have been watching. One was at Brandon's Bookshelf. He put out a tag which was about the philosophy of reading. And one of the questions, let me quote it so I get it exact, was, what is your book buying process? And supposedly this set off a whole lot of us about pondering or feelings that came up, either very passionate and strong good, or maybe even a little guilt-ridden or like problematic. And then also one of my newer friends, Sam Leary, who has a beautiful series that he has been running, pondering why reading and what is behind the motivations of reading, how we get more out of reading by intentionally looking at this. And I kind of put those two things together into this thing that, instead of asking just our book collection or where we shopped, but why do we shop the way we do, and maybe just unpack that a little. So here is my questions for us. One, do you plan your book purchases ahead, or do you just simply impulse buy wherever it is you do it? Do you think about it? I personally do think about it quite a bit. I decide and kind of debate. But having said that, if I'm in a physical bookstore and I find said book that I was looking for, I do look at all the books surrounding it and on the new releases that maybe I don't know about. And there is often, very often, an impulse buy on top of the intentional buying. Number two, how do you decide what books to buy? So usually the book that I'm looking for has been recommended by somebody on BookTube or one of my friends, coworkers, family members, and I trust their taste. Or they may just made it sound interesting, and I go and choose it for that reason. I also look at book covers. A book cover can absolutely make me pick up a book, read the back of it, and if I think it sounds good, it goes in my buy pile. I also decide not only by book covers, but authors. If it's an author that I have read before, then, and a book that I have not read before by them, I often will check it out, either to give them a second chance, or I already know I love them, and does this book at all sound interesting, because I already know I like the writing style. Number three shall be the number of the counting. What is your philosophy on where you shop? Do you do online or in person? Do you prefer really large, small, physical, digital, audio, brand new, or used is okay? I particularly love a library sale. I just love the history. I think I prefer used books over new books. In fact, I know I do, unless it's like these guys. And then I will buy these online to make sure I get the exact copy and version and it's brand new. But otherwise, I definitely prefer a physical store and and having some history. If it's written in or dog-eared or anything like that, all the better for me. Number four, what about little free libraries? Have you ever used a little free library? What do you think about that concept? I love the concept, and I have even perused some when I had a couple minutes, but I have yet to add a book or remove a book from a little free library, even though I keep thinking I'm going to do that. And there's several around my area, and I've even thought about doing a filming on little free libraries in my area because they are adorable and I love the concept, and I don't use them, and I don't know why. Something to ponder. It's a good pondering tag, y'all. Number five, how do you feel after acquiring a book? Do you share it? Like, in a haul video? Do you have like passion and excitement? Or do you feel like, ooh, I shouldn't have bought that, I've got too many books to read, or I shouldn't have spent the money? What is the feelings that are left from when you're purchasing books? Because it seems like a very complex thing. And for the most part, I'd say 90+% of the time, I just have pure joy. I love setting the book in front of me. I do set it aside to show you, unless it's a one random book, and then that just gets added. I'm doing a couple buddy reads, so I specifically got a particular book, and I got that one actually from betterworld.com. So I wanted a specific book. It was a good price. It's recycled, it's used, and it was $5 with the shipping. So if you don't know about betterworld.com to get your books and textbooks, I will leave that link below. That's another great way to shop, particularly when you just want one thing and you don't want to be tempted to buy a bunch of others. That could be a strategy. Number 6. How do you feel looking at the books that you haven't yet read? When you look at your TBR stack, how does that make you feel? Does it matter if there's a whole bunch of them or if it's a little? Because the interesting thing I learned was that when I wanted this goal to read all of my entire TBR stack. So I had this goal and I was reading through it, and I was really good about not buying a lot of new books and just reading it down. And a funny thing happened. When it got down, there was only like less than 20 books on that stack. I was unhappy. I was like, I want choices. I want my stacks to go to the ceiling. I just do. So yeah, if it's too little, it bothers me. Now, if it's too much is when I'm only 5'2" and I keep my TBR stack on the dresser. I'll show you in just a minute. But if I can't reach the top of the stacks on the top of the dresser, then that's kind of my cutoff, and it's like, ooh, I need to read some of these. And really, it's about 100-ish books that can fit up there. So it's a good choice, and that's just kind of my strategy. But I would love to hear other people's, because it's a fascinating thing discovering what people think about their books. Number 8, do you have a TBR game or a process on how you're going to get through? Do you just mood read and look them over and pick? I will show you mine and kind of explain what I do here so you can see what I'm talking about. So here is my TBR stack with my lotion. That doesn't really go there. See, it's very real, very impromptu. Let me move that. So these here are keepsake books, but all of these, every single one of those is my current TBR. There's my kitty cat, isn't she pretty? All my cats of the past. These are cats that have passed on. Cats and books, y'all. So these here are nonfiction, at least the ones in back. There's a few in front that are now wouldn't fit in this stack. It got too tall. So this is fiction, just general fiction. So there's a few fiction over here, and some that I'm going to read in April, right there on top. That whole stack second in the back is nonfiction. These are all classics. And my only goal is to read 12 of these a year, 12 of those a year, and that's it. The rest is mood reading, what I want, what y'all have recommended. Yep, there it is. Back for number 9. Do you have a book buying problem? This is the root question, right? It's like, what is actually the defining factor on when this is crossed over to be a problem? So what's the nature of it, and can it be adjusted? So if it's a money thing, like you truly don't have the money, maybe there's a way to continue to acquiring the books and the joy of the books without a lot of guilt by looking up library sales where the books are only $1 or $2 a piece. Or maybe if it's a physical space issue and you don't have enough space, then maybe you could look and think about, well, is it possible that I could unhaul some books and donate them to somebody who would really love them, or use them, or even sell them or trade them in at a used bookstore? A lot of times they'll give you credit and you can do exchanges. For what I found is about 1 to 4. Like if I turn in anywhere from 2 to 4 books, I will get 1 in exchange. You know, basically free, right? For books that I wasn't going to keep and most likely not reread. So there could be that. If you just kind of have a collecting hoarding issue, you know, that may take some deeper things to unpack, if you will. But it's a good thing to address these and to be the best selves that we can be. So I encourage you just to think about it and ponder it and see if there's a way to come up with the positive feelings, because let's be real, it's really hard to have too many books. Books are beautiful and reading is a good thing for us. I want to tag 2 or 3 other people to ponder their book buying process, and I'm going to do this after my number 11, which is I really want you to know that you are wonderfully made, created just the way you are. Whatever your book buying processes are, that is okay. Being a book lover is just an amazing thing. I think I said in my original newbie tag, if you walk into a bookstore or bookshop and that smell, that ambiance, those stacks of books, that aesthetic, that feeling, if that is pleasing and a good thing, you are my people and you are amazing. So I do want to go back and tag my very bestest YouTube booktube buddy, Michele at Books Cause Insomnia. If you like mysteries and cozy mysteries and new releases and things that are contemporary, please check out her channel, especially if you like cats. She has a couple beautiful black cats that are always making appearances in her videos. And so I think she deserves way more attention and love than she gets. I also, of course, tag Brandon at Brandon's Bookshelf and Sam Leary to do this tag since they inspired it for me. I also wanted to thank, I'm tagging, those are officially my 2 or 3, but now I want to also tag people that have been supportive of me my entire booktube career, being here 7, almost 8 months now. Just people that have supported me within the first couple months. And if you're supporting me now, I love you and appreciate you, but I have to leave room for someone else to tag you. So my original people that kind of helped me out all from the beginning was Hannah at Hannah's Books, Steph at Steph's Bookish World, Brian at Bookish, Ben at Overly Average Ben, Lachlan at Locke's Library, Nikki at Red Dot Reads, Sandy at Mrs. Reads a Lot, Jolene from Bookworm Adventure Girl, Bekki from Teacup the Storyteller, Susan from Rhodes Reads, Gemma at Gemma Books, and David at David's Book Reviews. So, as I said, a lot of new people have been supporting me in recent past couple months. And I could keep going, but I want to leave some room for some other people to tag. If you want to actually do this tag, I would so enjoy watching the videos back of my friends who will answer these questions and show where they shop and how and why. Thank you so much for the support. I am just humbled to be where I am, to have particularly formed a love and community. And even if you do not have a booktube channel, I totally see you when you comment. I want to do or come up with some creative way to shout out those who regularly comment on my channel and just support me. So stay tuned for that. I'm thinking of my next TBR shout out for my commentators who just come along with me. I appreciate you. Thank you. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. Thanks, y'all.